My mom received flowers from a man that's not my dad. I couldn't believe that my incredibly timid mother could ever cheat, but things became seriously suspicious when I found flowers addressed to her. The past 2 weeks had been a serious roller coaster of emotions for me and my mom. It started when I was home alone, studying for my exams. I was in the living room when the doorbell suddenly rang. I rushed over thinking that it was a delivery for me, but ended up giving a confused look when the delivery man shoved a bouquet to my face and walked off without saying a word. I closed the door and looked at the mix of roses and wildflower, and found the card that read, "To my Helen, from your John." I reread the card to make sure I was seeing things clearly. I panicked when I realized that it was a gift to my mom. I placed it back outside the door and went back to studying. But now, my mind was completely distracted, thinking about who John could have been because it was clearly not my dad's name. I grew more suspicious when my mom arrived home and placed the flowers in a vase, smiling and giggling like a teenager in love. I tried my best to ignore it, but I also seriously needed answers. So after a while I said, "Mom, those are beautiful flowers. Did Dad buy it?" She smiled back at me and said, "Yes." I knew it was a lie, and that made me feel even more upset. I walked away, leaving her alone for now, but I immediately started searching through my mom's social media for more information. She ended up having at least a dozen friends named John because of how stupidly common the name is. So later after studying, I found an excuse to take a look at my mom's phone while she was reading her book. I scrolled through her text messages and social media, but found nothing suspicious with anyone named John. I opened up her Yahoo email address that I told her had been outdated and found emails sent back and forth to only one person, a man named John P. They only spoke once every few months, updating each other with their lives. It didn't seem like anything suspicious, especially since my mom frequently mentioned my dad and me. Then I stumbled on an email dated on July 6th that read, "I'm happy enough celebrating our anniversary together here. I'm happiest when you are happy, my Helen. Please be healthy." My eyes widened. I felt thrilled that I was one step closer to understanding what was going on. I searched for every email sent every July 6th and found the earliest emails between them, including one where he called me his daughter. I dropped my mom's phone from shock and she rushed into the room to check on me. My mom bent down to pick up her phone and saw the email I left open. Her expression went dim and she held my hand, apologizing. I glared at her and asked, "Am I adopted? Or kidnapped? Or what? Who was John and why did he call me his daughter? Did you cheat on Dad?" The more questions I asked, the more my eyes watered. My mom asked me to calm down, which made me feel even more impatient. In the middle of the conflict, my dad arrived home from his work and seemed to feel the unusual tension between us. He walked over and my mom whispered, "She knows." He pressed his lips together and nodded. He held my hand and said, "You are my daughter, no matter what anyone says." That's the moment my tears turned into a full cry. He wiped away my tears and explained how many years back, my mom had gotten pregnant with me when she still lived in China. She planned on eloping with the man named John. Unfortunately, her parents found out and sent her away to Canada to live on her own and struggle on her own. In that same year, my dad had fallen in love with my mom and asked her to be with him, saying that he would take care of her and me even if she didn't love him yet. She agreed, and eventually fell in love with my dad, but part of her heart still belonged to John. She had been open and honest to him all these years, and he understood that they would never get back together since John also had a family of his own. But for my sake, everyone remained friendly for years, waiting for the moment to tell me the truth. I hugged my dad and said that it was unfair to him, and that he would be the only person I would ever see as my dad. His eyes started watering from my comment and he kissed my head. I still felt disappointed in my mom, but I eventually came to terms that she was also a victim of her family's mistreatment. The following day, my family sent flowers back to John, and I added a letter that read, "Hi, it's nice to meet you."